Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Gadigal people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Wednesday, July 12. In Squiz Kids Today, Australia joins the Climate Club. Snow in South Africa. Mars rover phones home and it's State of Origin time. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
Are you a member of a club? If so, then you probably know that often the best way to get stuff done is alongside other like-minded people. That's the thinking behind the decision yesterday by Aussie PM Anthony Albanese to sign Australia up to the Climate Club, a group of countries from all over the world, including the US, the UK, Singapore, Germany, France and Italy, all of whom want to see global emissions reduced to net zero by the year 2050. Now, that's a lot of highfalutin fancy talk, so what exactly does it mean? It means drastically reducing the greenhouse gases that contribute to global warming. And many would say it's a timely announcement, given that global temperatures reached their hottest on record last week. I know it's hard to imagine as we all shiver through a chilly winter here in Australia, but in the Northern Hemisphere they've been experiencing record high temperatures and heat waves. And all of this as the World Weather Service confirmed this week that we're in an El Niño, a weather pattern that will likely bring extended periods of hot, dry weather this summer. And all of that has scientists on the Great Barrier Reef worried that we could be in for another coral bleaching event, which is when the water becomes too warm for the coral to thrive. But now we're part of the Climate Club, hopefully we can all work together as an entire planet to find solutions.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Johannesburg, in South Africa, where it has snowed for the first time in forever. With thanks to Anna from Arendelle for that line. While the Northern Hemisphere swelters, children who have never seen snow ran out into parks and made snowballs and snow angels as the lovely white stuff fluttered down onto South Africa's biggest city. It's the first time that Joburg has seen snow in over a decade. And a decade, as you know, is a whole 10 years. Meanwhile, as snow continued to blanket the Aussie snowy mountains and down into Tassie, Queenslanders woke to chilly temperatures yesterday morning. Some even had to swap their thongs for actual shoes. True story.
Sport time.
All right, Queensland, you ready for this? Can the Maroons perform a clean sweep of this year's State of Origin series, or will the New South Wales Blues save a little bit of face and win tonight's final game? That's the question that's burning in the minds of NRL-loving Aussies everywhere. Billy Slater's Queensland Maroons team goes into tonight's dead rubber decider as favourites. So, hang on a minute, what's a dead rubber? It's a match whose outcome won't affect the overall result of a competition. By winning the first two games, Queensland has already won this year's series. Queenslander! Tonight's game takes place in Sydney, where it's still school holidays, so expect plenty of kiddos in the stands. But question marks remain over who exactly will run on for the Blues, with speculation that coach Brad Fittler may make some last-minute changes to his lineup. May the best team win.
Spaced out.
Does your mum or dad sometimes have bad reception on their mobile phone? Do calls sometimes drop out because you go through a tunnel or pass through a little bit of countryside without coverage? Well, that's what's happened up on Mars, where a little helicopter that humans sent up with the Mars rover Perseverance 2 years ago has been taking flights around the red planet and sending back photos. Except it took a little flight back in April and landed behind a Martian hill, and for 63 days down here on Earth we weren't able to get any signal from it. But communications have been restored this week and the helicopter is back online. And all of this, if you can imagine, is happening and being controlled by a group of scientists here on Earth 340 million kilometres away. That is just remarkable. I've stuck a link in today's episode notes to NASA's official Perseverance webpage, where you'll see a photo of the cheeky little helicopter and a lot of other very cool information about the project. Hey, were you listening on Monday? Did you get the memo that Squiz Kids is dancing to a whole new tune with a brand new schedule? The daily news pod Squiz Kids Today will now drop on Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, with Newshounds moving to Thursdays. Shortcuts and Squiz the World will drop on alternate Tuesdays, and we're bringing our super fun Kids vs. Adult weekly news quiz forward to Fridays. So you can test who's been paying the most attention to the week that just was. Same cool Squiz Kids content, still absolutely gobsmackingly free, just delivered differently. You're welcome.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What's the name of the rover up on Mars? That's right, it's called Perseverance. Question number 2. In which big South African city has snow fallen this week? Yeah, that's right, it's Johannesburg. Question number 3. Which state has won this year's NRL State of Origin series? Yeah, of course, it's Queensland!
Shout-outs.
It's July 12. Today is the birthday of inspirational Pakistani girls advocate Malala Yousafzai. I've stuck a link in today's episode notes because you should totally know more about Malala. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Aliza from Point Cook, Alessandro and Martinus from Exeter, Geordie from Caloundra West, Frank from Windsor, George from Forest Lake, Maya from Bargo, Spencer from Bond Beach and Reese from Albany Hills. And because we took a week off for school holes, we're powering through a pile of belated birthday shout-outs. And today's go to Eleanor from Ballarat, Keisha from Geelong, Ethan from Albany Hills, Emma from Gundagai, Oscar from Exeter, Harvey and Oscar from Vaucluse, Braden from Carlingford, James and Charles from Middle Harbour, Liam from Kensington, Harvey from Dianella, Till, Elliot and Kynan from Helens Vale, and Emily, who's listening all the way over there in Singapore. And classroom shout-outs for our friends in Queensland and Victoria who are back at school this week go to Class 4A with Mrs. Roby and Class 2B with Miss Ether at Ormond Primary School. Class 4MO at Our Lady Help of Christians Primary School in Warrnambool, Class 5-6E and Mr. Donatris at Dandenong South Primary School, Class 6HB and Ms. Harvey at Ivanhoe Primary School, Class 2D with Ms. Hanslow Sells at Eltham North Primary School, and finally to Class 6O and Miss Orr at Dysart State School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.